Hey, good morning, everyone. Good evening in the UK and good morning in Australia. It is 4 a.m. here in Cebu. What am I doing up this early? Well, I have a 3 a.m. class, and so I figured, you know what? Might as well do the live stream at 4 a.m. because it is 8 p.m. in the UK and I want to connect with you guys. So please say hi. Let me know where you're from. Let's just check the volume. Yep, volume looks good. Say hi. Let me know where you're watching from and join in the conversation. So we are officially 21 days left in Cebu. And it's hitting me in the head. I'm like, oh, this trip is over. And I gotta start figuring out, there's a whole bunch of things I gotta do. So first of all, I gotta plan my goodbyes. So I gotta hang out with Terry and Paul. Terry's leaving soon. Like he's gotta be going in the next week. So I gotta hang out with him. And I probably won't see him until October or November. And Paul, I gotta hang out with him. This new work schedule is killing me. I didn't go outside yesterday. I did. I went for lunch. Yesterday. So I forced myself to go outside. I had an hour and I went out for a walk. I went for lunch, so which is good. And then on Monday, I went out fruit shopping. So I got out. Today, I'll go to the gym. And I'll go out for lunch again. Yeah, I'll go out for lunch. I'll go out for dinner at 4 o'clock. When I come back from the gym, I'm going to eat fruits before I go. And then I'll have eggs when I get back. I have a lot of eggs. And then I have class, and then I'll go for dinner at 4 o'clock. Then I have more classes. It's this, like, getting to bed early because I got to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to do a class. When I get back to Sri Lanka, that class will be about 1 a.m. local time. Hopefully I don't wake up Mom. And then I also have to meet my motorcycle club for a weekend. What I do for money. But it's really good money because it's off hours. So they gave me a premium, which I don't really mind. But I hope it doesn't take its toll on me. I remember how my other classes were, when I was doing like 60 hours a week, really killed me. For 3 months I did that. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see how it works out. So I want to welcome you guys to my journey. Every Wednesday at this time, every Saturday, late mornings on Saturdays. So join me in this adventure, why don't you? What I've learned on this trip is budgeting. I'm going to try to when I come back, reduce my spending even more than what I normally do. So rent and utilities would be about 600. Food, I'm going to try to keep it down to, let's see here. So let's say $300 for food. $300 for food, $600 for rent and utilities, $50 for visa, $100 for bike, and $50 for miscellaneous. Yeah, it's probably going to stay the same. I'm not going to really reduce that amount, maybe by $100 a month. So 1,100 to 1,200 USD a month, realistically. And then what that means is that once every couple of months, I can go out and splurge and spend about $200 or something like that. As long as I keep it under $1,500 a month, $1,500 every couple of months, and I budget like $1,100. You see, because I don't need to spend money to have fun. As long as I socialize, and as long as I get to go to the pool or to the beach, I can have fun. And I don't have to order food or drinks at the beach. I got to stop doing that. It's an unnecessary expense. It doesn't give me pleasure. It's just laziness. And that's one of the things is that, like I've learned, is that you become complacent with money. Now, it's not like I don't have the money. It's I would rather put it into investments. You know, speaking of investments, oh my gosh, I lost 4% of my portfolio yesterday, but I gained 6% on gold. What a day on the stock market yesterday. The Sri Lankan market was crazy. At one point, I was down 12 or 13%, but then people were buying back in. If I had cash, I would have bought more stock, especially the one that dropped. Oh my gosh, it dropped a lot, but then it recovered. I would have bought so much stock. I love it. I wish I was more liquid, but I bought a crap ton of gold when it fell last month, and it's just, I can't believe how fortunate I am. This is how rich people make money. They stay liquid. They have a lot of liquid cash. When I say liquid, I mean they have a lot of cash. And then they just, when an opportunity comes along, they dump all that cash into it. You know, we take every little penny and we put it into whatever it is, or we spend it, and we don't have this emergency fund. So, yeah, it's just, it's so beautiful. Anyway, I am not taking a lot of the things that I packed because I'm going to leave them with Paul. He's going to hold on to my stuff, a lot of my stuff, like the computer screens, the computer keyboards and speakers and stands and things like that. Half my clothes, a lot of the toiletries, the pots and pans that I bought, the things like that, I'm not going to take with me back to Sri Lanka. I'm going to leave them here because I'm coming back. There is nothing that will stop me from coming back here. There's no reason why I can't come. I can afford it. I can afford to live here. I can afford to work. And with your support on YouTube, I can just continue to stay here. The only issue I'm having is the flight ticket. I sent a message to the Philippine embassy, and I got to follow up with them. They sent me a message back saying that I have to have, I don't know if I explained myself properly, because when I came here, I don't remember anybody asking me for a flight ticket. Now, I had one, like a flight ticket back, but my flight ticket was 5 months because I knew I was staying 5 months. But they're saying, oh, it has to be 30 days because that's your visa. You can't overstay, blah, 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 blah. And I said, I understand that I have to, but I have no problem in renewing my visa. I'm not going to be denied. And I have a ticket that I can change. Now, the problem with changing a ticket is that they are only valid from 1 year from the date of purchase. You can't extend them beyond 1 year. Now, maybe I buy a one-way ticket, business class, and a return ticket, a cheap return ticket, or a refundable cheap ticket to like Bangkok or someplace close by that I can fully refund, And then when I'm ready to leave, I buy my return ticket to Sri Lanka in 2 years or something like that. Or if I need to leave in 6 months or 8 months or a year and 4 months, I can just buy a ticket. But I can outlay the cash. That's not a big deal. It's just I don't want to. And then there's these, everybody's talked about it, and I looked at it, those fake airplane tickets. And a lot of immigration know about this. And if it doesn't look legitimate, like if I'm flying from Sri Lanka on business class and then I have a ticket going back on economy to a different city, that raises alarm bells. But if it's a real ticket, it has a confirmation number and it can be searchable. But like I said, I never got asked for a ticket when I came through. I don't remember being asked. So I don't know. We'll see. What I'm probably going to do is buy a one-way ticket here and then have a fully refundable, cheap economy class ticket that I can refund 29 days later to Bangkok. A real ticket. I'm not going to play around with immigration. You never play around with immigration. I met this one person and he was asking me, I'm going to overstay by 3 days. What would happen? I said, well, you have to pay a fine, but why? Like, you have to pay a fine, even if it's, $20, $30. The visa's only $50, and you don't get a black mark on your passport, right? You don't want anything preventing you from returning to the country that you want to visit. And you have to remember, you are a guest. The immigration officer has discretion to let you in or not, right? And if you have even the slightest inclination that you feel it's justifiable to violate the law, you have to remember, visa is a law. It's not a right. It's a privilege. I just don't understand people who are blasé about their visas. It's not the first person. It's not the second person. It's not the third person that I have met this trip who's like, yeah, I've overstayed my visa. I'm like, oh, what? How do people even contemplate that? I don't understand. I don't understand it. It's mind boggling to me how people just. Ugh. Um, the second thing I've learned, other than budgeting is really important to maintain your sanity, and planning. Planning is important too. Like having a schedule. Oh, I am going to start a hobby. It all depends on my work schedule, but I'm going to start a hobby. I'm going to have a 1 bedroom, so I'm going to have a lot more room. So either my hobby is going to be cooking, which doesn't have a social aspect to it. Maybe I'll join a cooking club or something like that. If there is one, maybe I'll start one. I mean, we have a kitchen here in the condo. Maybe I can get the condo board to allow me to use it for a club, like an owner resident type of thing once a week, to like build morale and whatever within the community, because they charge a lot for that room. Or maybe I can have the club like have a members thing and they pay like 100 pesos each to cover the costs of the room, whatever. I have some ideas on a hobby. The other one I have is astronomy. I really love astronomy. Like we had the blood moon last night. So I went out and I saw it. There it is. It's not the first blood moon I've seen. It's the second one. I saw one in Sri Lanka. It was spectacular. Spectacular. So when I come back, I'm bringing my binoculars. They're very powerful. But I can get a very good beginner's ground-based telescope that has a phone attachment, so you can take photographs, digital photographs, for like $700. That's really interesting to me. And you have to have a hobby. And when I come back, I'm probably not going to work as much. Still going to work, but it's going to be more of the kids, not the adults. And I'm going to, because I'm not going to be working the adults anymore, I'm going to open up my weekends for the kids, but I'm going to limit it to mornings so that I can go out in the afternoons and what have you. I don't know. We'll see. What else? Well, I have to start planning. Oh, sorry. The third thing that I learned, I got distracted by thinking of something. I'm tired. I haven't had a coffee. What the other thing I learned is that having a social network is just so important. I thrive on getting up and going outside and speaking to people. And in Sri Lanka, it's very expensive to do that because you have to go someplace. And for me to plan with the driver, and then just like, if I'm going to go there, it's not just going to be for 15 minutes or 20 minutes or 1 hour. It's going to be the whole day. I go at 9 and I come back at 5. And then, you have to buy food and whatever. It's not cheap, right? And here, it's all included in my rent. Whereas I would spend $100 on a day out in Sri Lanka. I mean, here it's included, and I do it every day. And I do it in Sri Lanka like maybe once a month, right? Once every 2 months. But I found that this, really drives my joy. What is that? What happened to the music? It's annoying. All right. So budgeting, hobby, and socializing. Those are the three things that I've discovered here. Um, I really need to focus on those three things to maintain my time here. And then I need to have like adventures. And what I'm hoping to do is travel. If I can budget the travel, and what I've learned is don't go to the tourist places. You're paying 30 to 50% more where you can go to the island next door and it is exactly the same. Sigihir, Palawan, El Nido, Boracay, all of those things are just ridiculously expensive, and you can find the same trip someplace else. Navy CTRC, nice to meet you, brother. How are you? Glad that I do remember you. Glad that the dive was great. I'm so happy for you. You're back home now, or you're still here in Cebu? And hopefully the weather was good for you last month. Last month was spotty. I don't believe the weather that was happening here. Every week, every 3 days, we were having a weather system. And for the last 10 or 15 days, we've had perfect weather, sunny and clear. Yesterday was overcast and cool, but we have a weather system coming in on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then back to sunny weather. Puerto Galero. No, I haven't been there. I want to look that up. I will definitely check that out. I'm always up on taking advice on places to go. There's 7,500 islands here, right? We don't have to go to the very expensive ones. Back in Florida. So glad you made it home safe. What I remember diving is that it's not really about the weather, it's about the water, the wind, and the current. Because you're fighting that current, right? I dive as well, or I used to dive as well. I haven't dove in a while. But having a sunny day, depending on how deep you go, is what can affect your day. But I was more about, the current. Thomas, welcome. How are you, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for joining on my Wednesday live. I appreciate it. We were just talking about adventures. And one of the things I'm going to be doing when I come back is not going to tourist areas. I'm going to be hanging out at the off the beaten path. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to continue renting my motorcycle or buy one, because if I'm planning on staying 2 years or at least a year, I can buy one for that price. So, you know, I don't see the value, because as long as I'm here, I'll use the bike, right? Um, so I can buy a bike for $2,000. I can buy a decent bike brand new for 2,000. I'm pretty sure I can find one online in Facebook Marketplace for much cheaper than that. I can buy a brand new bike for that. Um, I've seen online bikes for 1,300. If I can find a cheap, easy bike, I don't need to have a flashy bike. It's not gonna be like that. Um, Thomas, 4 weeks. Unfortunately, I have 3 weeks left. So you'll be arriving 1 week after me. And I made the joke last time, brother, you can take over for me. You can take over for me. But I am back. I am back in between June 1st and August 1st. Between June 1st and August 1st is the plan. Definitely August 1st, probably mid-June is when I'll arrive back. You know, and here's the thing, Thomas, $3,000 is a lot of money that I don't want to spend on something that I'm not going to use all that often. It's something I'm going to use once a month. The problem is I have to have a bike as part of the charter for my motorcycle club. I have to be in possession of a bike, either renting or owning. Now, I know I'm promising to go on more adventures, but I'm not going to take my bike off of Cebu Island. I'm not going to do the adventure of traveling all over Philippines on a motorcycle. It's just not going to happen. I don't, at this point, I don't want to do that because I can't. I need to carry certain things. I need to carry the computer. Because I need to work. If I'm going on an adventure for a week or a month, I need to have my laptop because I have to do video editing. I have to have power banks and keyboards and everything. You can't carry that on a motorcycle. You can, but not easy. I don't like being uncomfortable. I'm not a camper. Okay, I'm a business class kind of guy. So at this point, I don't need to do that. Don't want to do that. Maybe in a few years, absolutely, but not right now. So if I can spend $1,000 and get a decent 250 that looks nice and is used and just can get me from point A to point B and satisfy the charter requirements for my motorcycle club, then I'm happy to do that. Yeah, and Thomas, I have friends I can ride with, but the problem is a lot of them are way younger than me. Like the membership of my club is predominantly, it's 99% Filipino, and they're all young guys. So they work and they don't have the time to travel. There's only one or two guys who are free to travel and have the money. These guys can barely afford the monthly dues. So, the Navy, I am planning on Mactan, Newtown. So here's my near term and long term. So for the next let's say 2 years, because I need to go back home in 2 years just to visit mom and dad. That's, I need to have a talk with mom about what would happen in the event that something goes wrong. Because after a year, it's very difficult to fly back because of the exit certificate. Um, if I'm living here for 2 years, that's the plan. And then in that 2 years, I will probably find someone to settle down with. Then I will get bored of this lifestyle and I would want something a little quieter and a little cheaper, right? I mean, I'll probably have more money at that point in 2 years anyways. Well, no, I'll be getting my pension by then. So then I would like to move to like a villa outside of Cebu City area. I probably will never leave Cebu City because that's where all my friends are. That's where everything is. So outside of the city, near a beach, a villa near the beach, where I don't, once I have a partner, I don't need to do all that socializing. I'll have a nice close-knit group of friends and I'll be okay. And then I can upgrade my bike and do more traveling because I'll have a partner and I'll need a bigger bike, like a road bike where I can go. I've Thomas, the Navy, I've had big bikes. I had a Honda Shadow 600cc and I had a Yamaha Dragster 1200. They were big, heavy bikes in Korea, right? They were huge. But 250, 300 is more than enough for me and a small Filipina to drive around Cebu Island, right? Go to take a weekend trip down to Mobile and that's it. Buy a couple of side bags and there you go. Just 1 or 2 days worth of clothes and you're good to go. The Navy, I used to live in Subic. So 3 years ago, so there was a really weird situation. During COVID, Korea did not allow, I had to return for residency, for my permanent residence. I had to return to Korea. So here was the funny thing. I left Korea and then I had to return within 1 year. And then I had to return 6 months later to renew my visa. Couldn't do it when I was there for the 1 year return. So I came back in January to fulfill my residency requirements. And then I left, instead of going all the way back to Sri Lanka and then coming all the way back again in June, what I did was I just stayed in Subic for 6 months. My friend Tim was living there, so I stayed with him. And I didn't like it there. I didn't stay in Subic. I was in Baloy Beach, and I didn't like it there. Maybe if I was living in Subic, it would have been a little bit better, but it wasn't my cup of tea. I just didn't enjoy it. I prefer socializing with tourists or in a touristy area, is where I am. 300 cc's is more than enough. I don't want a scooter or one of those ADVs. I want a cruiser bike, a Honda, a Yamaha, that kind of a thing. There's absolutely, I do not travel fast. I'm a slow rider. I don't overtake, I don't lane split, I just stay behind and I go. I mean, I lane split in traffic when it's stopped, but I'm very careful. I'm a very careful rider. I'm a slow rider. I've been riding for, when did I get my driver's license? It just popped up on my Facebook today, on my Facebook memories when I got my driver's license. Let's see here. No, that was yesterday. It's not on today's. Is it on today's? It must have been. It must be 10 or 12 years that I have been riding a motorcycle. Wow, that trip to Cuba was 17 years ago. Wow. Anyway, um, yeah, Thomas, it won't be a Honda. It'll be one of these Chinese knockoffs that I've been seeing everywhere. They're like flooding the market here, and there's a lot of them. Um, and I've been kind of looking at Facebook Marketplace. But here's the thing: is that I have a motorcycle club friends here, and the president of our Cebu chapter, he knows everything about everything. Now he's trying to get me to buy like a 500cc, 800cc big bike, but there's just no way I'm going to do that. It's not. The thing will be sitting in the parking lot for weeks because I don't ride every day. I don't need to. Where I live, I don't need to ride. If I needed to ride every day, then I would get a scooter kind of bike like that. But I don't like scooters. I like having a cruiser. It's just much more comfortable for me. It feels good. It looks good. It rides well. And here's the funny thing. I let Terry ride my bike. I mean, just for you guys who don't know, Terry is a friend of mine who I met here, who was on a visa run, and in it for like 3 months ago, and he's still here. From my advice, he became addicted to this place, and he is a former motorcycle racer. The crotch rocket racing, and he rode my bike. He says it felt really weird. He says it's better than a scooter, but he said it's very weird to be in that position on a motorcycle. And he says, my Longia, he says it rides well. He says it's really responsive and very comfortable bike, but he says it rides weird. And when I ride a scooter, I had a scooter for a little while my bike was in the shop, and just not the same. Like the steering, I just don't like it. Yeah, Thomas, my guy, the president of my Cebu chapter. I'm a nomad. I belong to the nomad chapter, but the Cebu chapter president, he knows all the bikes, all the bike shops. He knows all the places. He knows which bikes to get, and so. Yeah, you know, Thomas, fast bikes are nice if the roads are quality, right? If you have American highways, that doesn't exist here. Well, at least not in Lapu-Lapu and not in Cebu. The roads barely have room for two trucks to pass each other. So, yeah, that's not happening. And even the main roads in Cebu City, other than in IT Park, from what I've driven, are just a madhouse mess. So Terry as well was saying he wants to get a bicycle to ride. to exercise. I said, not on these streets you don't. There's no sidewalk. There's no shoulder. You're maybe get a mountain bike and you can do it, but no, it's not healthy. But I mean, that's an expense that I don't need, because like right now, the bike was sitting for 2 weeks parked because I didn't need to go out. I had to force myself to take the bike out to go on just to get the engine going. And I don't want to have to do that. I want an older bike that doesn't need to be turned over every day, every week. I'll use it. I'll get into a habit of riding. Like, I really want to take another trip up into the mountains. And I want to do that. I only have 3 weeks left. So I only have a couple days where I can do that. So it probably won't happen. But yeah, I'll do that. So I have a lot of vlogs coming up. Cost of living, bucket list of things to do in the Philippines, buying a condo, what are the results of my exercise and blood tests after 5 months of living here? Going away, leaving. I'm going to do healthcare research. A couple more interviews. You guys like those interview videos. Internet, Filipino family culture. Another update on that. I'm going to do a vlog about, I don't think I could survive today's work culture. I don't think I would. Things that are considered rude in the Philippines. Strange laws and rules and crime in the Philippines. My comparison of living here versus living in Thailand. Things I learned about living in Cebu. Visas. And then a little video about what I do every day here in the Philippines. What I do in this schedule, this plan. So that'll be March, the rest of March. April will be my transiting from here back to Sri Lanka and my settling into Sri Lanka, and then the first things that I need to get done in Sri Lanka. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing 5 vlogs a week. I know I'm going to try to do 3. And then what I'm going to try to do is Monday, Wednesday, Friday vlogs, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday live stream, and then Sunday off. That way I won't run out of content because there's really nothing to do in Sri Lanka. Yeah, Thomas, if you want, you see, the problem is my friend at the motorcycle club, he works. He's a manager of a call center. He's the IT manager of a call center. So he works really odd hours. And he's really not available all the time. Like, we had a meeting. It was 11 p.m. local time because that's the only free time he had. And yeah, I have learned that getting a motorcycle here is really difficult. To get the plates takes months and months and months. Now, you can ride it with the registration, but you can't take it off the island. You need the actual plate, I think. I'm not sure, but you need the actual plate to get it off the island onto the ferry boats. I would check with that. Don't trust any of these dealers because they want to sell you the bike. And they'll say they'll get you the plates in like 3 weeks. It's not going to happen. Don't trust it. Yeah, Sri Lanka is wonderful, brother. Let me tell you. I have traveled around Sri Lanka. I finally went to the far north to Jaffna. Wow, my God, so beautiful. So beautiful. The people, the food, the beaches. Wow. I've been everywhere in Sri Lanka. The only thing I didn't do this trip was Yala National Park because I've done it. And it's not a fun trip because you get there, then it's another 2 hours of back-breaking riding just to get inside the park. And then you're not guaranteed of seeing anything. You'll see elephants, but you're lucky to see a leopard, and the leopard will be like a mile away and it's just a dot on the horizon. The only people who see it are the people with binoculars or telephoto zoom lenses. Thomas, I think if you're going to buy a bike, my friend told me the best place to do it is Facebook Marketplace. It's the only place to do it. You're going to get Filipinos who are distress sales. That's the only way to get a good bike for a good price. And let me tell you something. You buy new, and if you try to sell it a week later, nobody's going to pay for that. You're going to lose 50% right off the top. Nobody's going to buy even a brand new bike. The bike I have, the guy was telling me he was trying to sell it, and it was like not even a month old, and nobody would buy it. They were like, I'll give you this amount for it. And it was like 40% less. He says it's a month old. Yeah, but it's not new. So yeah, don't go down that road. So you can get a good deal on Facebook Marketplace. I mean, let's take a look. Let's take a look at Facebook Marketplace. Where's my Facebook? I mean, I have it bookmarked because there's a nice looking bike. What is this? No, that's a piece of crap. Honda, that's sponsored page. Let's price from highest to lowest. There's Harleys for sale here. I have no idea what kind of bike that is, and it's ridiculously priced. BMWs for 1.2 million. That's a sponsored ad. A Harley Davidson 2023 for $850,000. It looks like I don't even know what kind of bike this is. It's one of the newer like cruiser models. Very beautiful. But I would never pay that. Indian Scout, $810,000. A Sportster S ceramic Harley, $800,000. Indian Scout, $800,000. BMW T Scrambler 2019, $720,000. Indian Harley Davidson Nightster Benda IFC 700. Really good looking bike. Wow. Chinese. Harley Davidson Sportster, 550,000. So let's look in my price range of 80,000 to 110. See if there's anything in my price range. Kawasaki, no, I don't want a Kawasaki Ninja. And see, here's the thing. In Philippines, you can get distressed sales. Those exist here. Also, you can get it from foreigners who are leaving or moving. There's a Kawasaki Dominar 400cc for 110,000. That's a good looking bike. But it looks brand new. There's a lot of dirt bikes. Maybe I would even settle for a cafe racer. Benelli. Oh no, I don't want to get that. What the hell is that? Oh no, that's a nice looking bike. Bellini? Benelli. Caferno. No, that's an ugly looking bike. Jeez, forget that. Yeah, I would never purchase a bike that costs an additional $1,000 plus after the fine. Yeah, I wouldn't buy for the name. Like I said, for my first bike, just to satisfy my charter, I need to have a bike. I don't like Royal Enfield because they're cafe racers. They're flat. I like to sit in a this, right? Sorry, I don't know the names of those, but I rode a Royal Enfield in Sri Lanka. It's an okay bike. It's just not comfortable for long distances. If I have to ride for more than an hour, I'll be very uncomfortable. They have flat seats. I just don't like it. And here, a lot of the bikes are Chinese, so they have the parts, or it's easy to import the parts. Trying to get a part from Japan, not easy. A 1980 Honda CB for 95,000. And it's customized. Wow, it looks nice. 4 straight pipes, but only a single seat. Good handlebars. Wow, that's a beautiful looking bike. He's customized it. 20,000 kilometers. Custom bobber build. But he's in Davao. And that's a 40-year-old bike. He's probably redone it a little bit. The tires look good. He's taking care of that bike. Yeah, I don't worry about warranties. If the bike breaks after a year, no warranty is going to cover anything. (2019) Demon X Classic 250cc Dirtster Bobber. Again, single seater. I don't want a single seater. I need a double seater. Yeah, cafe racers for 90,000. Like the flat seats. I don't like the look of it. Bellini Mobi Evo 200. That looks nice. the thing is that you gotta sit here and watch Facebook Marketplace every day. And you can negotiate these guys. You can haggle. Yeah, the bikes from China are cheap. Like I got my bike totally fixed in it took 3 weeks to get the parts. Yeah. Harley is a beautiful bike, but I mean, those things are like Mercedes. They break down all the time. They're always in the shop. And getting parts here is just impossible. I saw a Harley in Sri Lanka. I'm like, how do you get parts for this? He says, I baby this bike because it just is so hard to get taken care of. Yeah, there's not a lot of bikes on this. Benelli motorcycle, Chinese, 80,000. So yeah, you can find bikes. You just have to shop around for them. Yeah, so that's why I used to like my Honda and my Yamaha in Korea, because the parts were readily available. Harley, you didn't have it. So I'm not worried too much about the type of motorcycle I'm going to get. It just needs to be a cruiser, black, and have a double seat so I can take a passenger. Yeah, I'd love a Honda Rebel. Love a Honda Rebel. My dream bike was a Honda Fury, because they had made a bobber, a production bobber. Oh my God, I saw one of those in Korea and I was just, oh, so beautiful. But just the price is just insane. And for the roads here, it's not. There's so many rocks, so much mud, so much dirt. It would just destroy any motorcycle of value, right? So that's why they drive dirt bikes around here, because it's just god awful. Like getting to my friend's house, oh my God, it's like driving through the jungles of the Amazon. And I'm like, how do you keep your bike clean? It's like, after you clean it at the car wash, you got to drive it back home, and it's already dirty by the time you get home. It's just, oh, it's awful. God, awful. Anyway, having a bike here is going to be an adventure, and getting one, it's going to take me a long time to find the bike. Yeah, Thomas, those types of bikes just, even Terry said there's no way he could ever. First of all, you can't get them up to speed safely. Even if he said, even if with his 50 years of riding motorcycles at 300 kilometers an hour, 180 miles an hour, he says he wouldn't ride here. It's dangerous. The roads are just not set up. You'll hit a rock, you'll hit a pothole, and that's it. You're done. Or you'll come around the corner and there's, a chicken and two dogs in the middle of the road. Yeah, and an ADV is good. I just would never drive on those kinds of roads. I'm not that's not my style of riding. I'm not interested in that. I'm done backpacking lifestyle. I want a comfortable bed in a 3-star, 4-star hotel. You know, the motorcycle club was planning a trip to Mobile, and they said they were going to do camping, and he would lend me a tent and everything. I'm like, yeah, thanks so much, but unfortunately, I can't make it that weekend. I haven't camped in. I'm going to say the last time I went camping was with my ex-wife, and we went in Northern Ontario. It was beautiful, but I mean, I brought salmon and capers, and we had a luxury time. But that had to be 25, 30 years ago. Absolutely. Thomas, let me tell you something. You get into an accident here, your life is over. Yeah. And at our age, my age, I don't need that headache. That's why I want a nice, slow cruiser. Heck, if I can get one of those 3-wheel ones, I would love it. Just sit back and relax, but then you can't lane split. Or sorry, not lane split, filter. I love filtering. I don't lane split, I filter. Filtering is great. So I'm glad there's a lot of motorcycle enthusiasts here. And Thomas, when you get here and I come back, you can definitely meet up with our crew and hang out. And if you're interested in becoming a hang-around or a supporter, you're more than welcome to join up. I'm more than happy. Great comment, Thomas. Last time I went camping was in Iraq. I can just imagine what that must have been like. I have no idea how hard it is to be in the military. It's not an easy job. Not an easy job, especially on deployment. I know a lot of people who've done it, all my friends, but both of you guys, ex-military. Afghanistan, my gosh. I actually met, before the fall of Afghanistan, I met one of the ministers of the government. He became a friend, and he was always inviting me to come and visit. Really nice guy. I feel bad because I lost contact with him before the fall of Afghanistan, so I don't know where he is right now. He probably isn't even in the country because he was in Korea, and he was stationed in Korea, so I doubt he went back. He would have claimed asylum somewhere. But yeah, I mean, I know the U.S. military takes care of its own when they're on deployment, because I've seen the bases in Korea, and my friends have told me that the overseas bases are always not the forward bases, but the I don't know what you call them, but the rear ones, especially the ones with PXs. And I can't remember what they call it. So when I went on base, there was only one place I wasn't allowed, was the PX. You have to have a special card to get to the PX. But then there was the food court, which I was allowed to go to and spend money in. It was absolutely amazing. The commissary, that's it. I went to the commissary and I was like, where the heck am I? So Yongsan base in Korea doesn't exist anymore because it's now decommissioned. But when I was there, it was. And I went on that base, and I was like, I've never been on a military base because we don't have those in Canada, not where I live. And I mean, Yongsan base is a administrative base, not really a military base, but I didn't know that. And in those days, there was no Google Maps. They were blurred for that area, so you couldn't see. You couldn't see in because they had brick walls, like 10-foot brick walls. So you couldn't really see in. So there was a mystery as to what was inside. So I was thinking, I would see troops marching up and down, like from Stripes, right? And tanks and missiles and, all of that stuff. And I walk in there and it looks like, small town Ohio. It's serious. It was the weirdest experience I've ever had going on base. I got signed in, and it was like so cool to walk around there, see all the signs in English, see the streets looking like, Mayberry, Leave It to Beaver style. Trees, streets, red brick houses and stuff like that. And then we went to the commissary and had lunch. It was an interesting experience. So today, Yongsan base has been turned over to the Korean people, and they're turning it into a park because they built a super base in Pyeongtaek down in the south. And that base is just insanely huge. It's an Air Force Administrative Army base. The forward bases up in the north, Dongducheong and stuff, are nice, but the southern base is just insanely huge near Osan Airport. Projects officer, paying agent. Yeah, I don't want to know what you spent, okay? Let's not get into trouble, okay? Releasing confidential information here. But I had like a lot of my friends who I met in Korea. I didn't know. I met troops, but they had curfew, so they were all under sofa. And I met troops, but they rotated out within a year, and they were all young kids, like they're in their 20s. My older friends were GS 14s, 15s, 17s. These are executive guys there for, years. And they were in, well, I can say it because you don't know who they are and they don't watch my vlogs. They were in signals intel. So spies, IT and spies, because they're working on North Korea. And he used to tell me stories about what would happen in the event of an attack. And if you look at Seoul, the differences in the riverbanks on the north side and the south side of the river. The north side is cliff. The south side is layered. And he says, you want to know why? He says, artillery pieces. So you can put the artillery pieces facing the north. And if you look at all the streets on the south side of the river, they're all wide with no power lines so that they can move troops and land airplanes if required. Yeah, golf courses are good in there, but Korea has great golf courses anyways. Just the regular golf courses are incredible. Golf is insane. It's like a full day thing in Korea. Anyway, guys, I'm going to have to wrap things up because I got to get back to bed, because I got to get up and go to the gym with Paul today. Today is back and arms, back and chest, back and arms. I don't know. It's back. It's day 2 of my exercise rotation. I want to say thank you to everyone who's watching, who's liking, who's commenting, who's supporting us. Okay, I really, truly appreciate it. Share this content on your social media so that others like you can join this community. I really appreciate welcoming the Navy CTRC glad you could join us today. And GS15. I just knew that they were high up. I can't even remember. I mean, it's been 8 years, but yeah, I remember they were like, I don't remember the rankings and things like that because again, I wasn't involved in it. It was just like my friends who were there, and so I knew they were up, and I knew those guys are like up high. They were civilian contractors, but they were still under SOFA. The only Americans who I met who weren't under SOFA were the Marines who guarded the embassy. They weren't under SOFA. But I'm glad that Thomas and the Navy C, TRC, you guys are joining, you are meeting each other and becoming friends. So that's really cool. Thomas, I'm really sad that I'm not going to be here when you get here. But once you get here and you get settled in, oh, that's right. Yeah. Hey, yeah. Okay. Now I remember. Okay. I'm glad that you guys are making friends and hanging out here. I hope that you continue to support and enjoy the content. And definitely, Thomas, I'll keep you up to date. As to when I'm returning, well, you'll see on the vlogs. You'll see on the vlogs. I truly appreciate everyone's support, everyone's time, everyone's effort to make this a community. We're going to go down that road. When I get back to Sri Lanka, I'm going to work on creating a community zone, not inside of YouTube, but on another app where people can leave information to help each other. Probably going to be on Discord or something like that, where there'll be like a place for files, for documents, where we can upload information and people can search it and index it. So it's not like in a chat where you have to like search through a chat to find information. Because I think there's a good resource here, because I don't know everything. I mean, I'm basically an idiot walking around blindly. I just have experience in not falling flat on my face, not getting scammed, but I'm discovering new things every day, so yeah, join me on this adventure. Learn to live life. Don't let life live you. Be good to each other, be kind, be considerate, be compassionate, be supportive. And remember, we're not strangers. We're just friends who haven't met yet. Guys, I'm going to say thank you once again for your loving support, your kind support, and your fun support. I truly appreciate it. We'll see you all on the other side.